Asexuality here again. I did have slight change in styling because it's a little later and it's a little cold and the lighting is different because the day is moving, changing, whatever. This is actually the third time I'm starting this video. Hopefully it works this time. So, hello, this is the first part after the introduction to my new series, Asexuality in Film. In this one, I'm going to talk more generally about a couple of movies that are not, probably not, like it's not supposed to be canon, it's not purposely representing asexuality or aromanticism, but I feel strongly about these headcanons, so I'm gonna talk about them. Anyway, I'm gonna have another video kind of like similar to this about a couple of movies, but I feel like those are more of like where I feel like I don't understand how to watch those movies without them being without looking at them from an array perspective. So this is kind of like this is a different more simple thing. And like I will admit that I know that these films are not made with asexual or aromantic audiences in mind. They are not made with the knowledge, most likely made without the knowledge of asexuality or aromanticism as identity, so it doesn't acknowledge asexuality or aromanticism because it doesn't know that this is what it's trying possibly representing or maybe misrepresenting. So this is a kind of a tricky situation. Part of this because these are older movies. Okay, no, actually that's not true. So, anyway, so that's out of the way. Introductory stuff out of the way. I gotta get more efficient with this stuff. So, get started. Men in Black International, starring Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. I really believe that Molly is written with very strong aromantic coding with some ace coding. And I love that. I love her. I love that she's awkward nerd who thinks about romance and sex as like chemical things that she doesn't really have an interest in. That she isn't very. She's passionate about different things. She's not passionate about passion. I mostly like how Chris Hemsworth character Agent H reacts to that. Did I say her name is Molly? Agent M. Yeah. Mostly I like that Chris Hemsworth character is mostly like not dismissive, like oh, I'm sure you will understand someday. A little bit of that, but then they never end up together. But if you wanna watch action movie with a male and female lead who don't end up together, where there's very little even flirting with between them, then I can recommend this one. I very much enjoyed this. But I do need to acknowledge that though this was directed by Gary Gray, who is black, there are societal issues. Like there's this idea that interracial pairings can still be really rare, or it has to be a huge thing if you pair certain races with each other, like especially a white man and a black woman, it can be very iffy and so I don't know if that's the reason why they ended up going with the mostly platonic interpretation of their relationship, because I find it kind of hard to believe that if Molly's character was played by someone other than Tessa Thompson, that they wouldn't have been kissing, that they wouldn't have ended up together. Like, I prefer this version. I love Molly. I think she's really great. I really enjoy the dynamic between Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in this movie. But I can't know whether part of that is because of societal and racial issues. So that's kind of a bummer. Next one is American Dreamz. This is from 2006. It's directed by Paul Weitz. It's kind of like a satirical look at shows like American Idol. They have this singing competition, and Mandy Moore's character Sally is very, very serious about wanting to win the competition. So much so that she will like pretend to still date and even accept a marriage proposal from her high school boyfriend, who's played by Chris Klein. So he's very sweet and very boy next door. While she's like kissing him while rolling her eyes at the camera because it's been filmed, and getting the proposal getting filmed, and she's very like manipulative and kind of callous and like ambitious, like she really wants to win this competition. Sorry, I keep playing with this pen. And this is actually almost canon because at one point in the movie, Sally, that's her name. This is going very well. I'm gonna get better at this, I promise. So Sally says to Hugh Grant's character, I'm not gonna look up what that name was, that I'm not physically attracted to other people, but if you want me, I'm yours. And then they have sex, and it's very much like, you know, I will sleep with you if it help me win this competition, while at the same time like playing the possibly doting girlfriend to Chris Klein's character, and then it all literally blows up in the end. And I enjoy this a lot. And like in my introduction, I talked about how I'm not really interested at necessarily looking at things, but what does this representation say to a lot of people? Like this is an early representation. This is one 2006, so that's an old movie. So I don't think they necessarily intentionally wrote her as essentially asexual, who uses her sexuality or lack of it to further her own goals. But like I don't mind, like asexual wrongs, yay. So like I like her character, and I think it's interesting to show this kind of perspective to someone using their sexuality, and even if it wasn't necessarily in purpose. So like I don't know. So if someone watches this and she's so awful, kind of awful because she doesn't feel sexual attraction, well that kind of sucks. But I also enjoyed the character, and this is meant to be a satire of these kind of shows and the manipulative and fake aspects of it, of these kind of singing competitions and this kind of reality competitions in general. So I like this movie. It's pretty fun, at least to me, although I think it's got very mixed reviews. Drinking break. This is from Espresso House. It's a Swedish brand, and this, if you go to Finland or Sweden, you'll see this everywhere. And then I will think about it. I'm gonna talk about Holiday, The Holiday by Nancy Meyers from 2006, starring among others Cameron Diaz. I really think that there is some interesting arrow ace coding going with her character, Amanda Woods. Like I'm gonna quote some lines that I just checked. There's like when her boyfriend is breaking up with her because she suspects that he's been cheating on her. She's like, well, who can even remember when the last time we had sex? She's like, come on, nobody has time for sex. And the ex also said you didn't really want to be a couple. And then when she's starting to talk with Jude Law, when she goes to England, she tells Jude Law's character that you don't have to worry about me falling in love. I promise I'm not gonna fall in love with you. I don't think I even fall in love, not the way other people do. And then she says that she's not very good at sex because, like her boyfriend said, ex-boyfriend said that. And then when they end up kissing, these are kind of a different order. But anyway, she says that weird, kissing a total stranger. And she's very analytical about all this sex and romance stuff. And yeah, she kinda ends up with Jude Law's character. I mean, kind of they are about they are gonna have a like intercontinental long distance relationship after the new year. So how fella they're gonna end up together, considering her job in Hollywood and his kids. But I do think there's some interesting, like I said, there's some interesting possible coding that comes relating to the two of them, to her specifically, and I very much enjoy this. I like this that there's this kind of a winter holiday movie that I can watch that at least somewhat in my head at least can give me some asexuality or aromantic representation, even though I know it's most likely it's not intentional, but it makes sense. It makes sense to me, and I like it. I think that's gonna be it for the first part. Like I was going to talk about. Okay, like just one more, very briefly. So I'm just gonna say this is the 40-year-old virgin in Finnish, the Finnish DVD, and I'm just gonna say right now I don't have that much to say about it. I'm just gonna say and link to you to Evasive's video on I Made Asexuals, what's the 40-year-old virgin. It's very funny. It goes into the development and production of the movie and the history and the reception and a lot of that kind of stuff. And there's some very funny aces reacting to the movie. So I don't think I have particularly have anything to say about this myself right now. Maybe later. We'll see. So this is gonna be the end of the first part, the second video, first part of the series. I'm probably not gonna make any more videos today because I've had some issues and my voice is going. But I will hopefully see you soon, and I'm gonna talk about some other other movies. I don't know which one I'm gonna talk about next, but hope you enjoyed the series. Bye.